big mana decks, Amulet Titan's playing against Jund, but having a tougher go of it, as he is down a game here in game number 2.
Yeah, I figure the Jund matchup, generally a pretty good one for the Amulet deck.
Historically, it's been great. The printing of Bloodbraid Elf actually made it a lot closer, but it's probably still positive. You're a Primeval Titan deck.
Right.
Jund has trouble with specifically that card.
Yeah, it looks like there's a sideways Primeval Titan. That's a bad side for the Jund player.
Right. We may be headed toward a third game here. Will at 16. You can shoot down Azusa all you want, but if you can't remove the Titan, none of this matters.
Right. And only single black mana available for Smith, so can't even be something like a Liliana without another land. And Pulliam at 16, that's a tall order.
Alessandro shocks down to 4. Casts Liliana. I believe this is Last Hope.
A lot worse than the Veil in this spot.
Mills over 2 to find Tarmogoyf. I mean, you can cast it, but if the Titan's not dead, this doesn't matter. And Will probably says, I'm going to transmute for, well, who cares? Walking Ballista would work.
Right.
Probably Slayer, probably Sunhome works too.
You were at 4.
I have a way to kill you with this wild card,
right.
Tolaria West. It finds anything.
Ooh, I like that, a wild card.
That's a wild
I
card.
haven't heard that for tutors before. That's nice.
Yeah. In this deck, every card gets every card if you're willing to do enough steps.
if you put in the work.
If you put in the work, any card can become something different. So we'll be headed to a third game. Amulet Titan does improve post-board against Jund. They get to board in just all these really tough creatures to deal with, like Tireless Tracker, Hornet Queen, Obstinate Baloth. I suppose Emrakul the Promised End probably comes in here too.
That is a large creature. Yeah, it's really tough for Jund to slog through a Hornet Queen.
Yeah.
Kind of the way they're approaching fighting this matchup is trying to get you to discard your Primeval Titans and your Summoners packs.
Yeah, well, actually, this is interesting. That's not the good way to approach the matchup. Historically, what Jund did to make this matchup close is that when you're playing a deck full of bounce lands, Fulminator Mages and Bloodbraid into more Fulminator Mages was a legitimate way to win the matchup. Jund would stick a turn 2 Tarmogoyf, they'd blow up your land, they'd cascade into another way to blow up your land, and you'd lose.
Right.
The metagame has moved away from that, and Jund decks, like Alessandro Smith's, he has no Fulminators in the 75.
There are 4 Assassin's Trophies, so those do help you a bit on fighting the bounce land in front, but yeah, the sideboard's really not helping too much here.
Yeah, and it's going to be a night and day thing, I would think. Having the Fulminator plan was the best thing they had going. If your plan is to Thoughtseize out the Titan deck, that is a really hard one to do.
Yeah, they are pretty redundant on the Titan front, and if they're transmuting Tolaria West, it's really tough to get through that.
Yeah, you easily ramp up to 9, or, you're a ramp deck, so they can Thoughtseize you, but eventually you're going to top deck something huge, or you'll just keep a T-West in your hand and transmute it.
Well, the Thoughtseize plan supplemented by Tarmogoyfs can be fast enough. You're talking about really big numbers of mana.
Yeah, some of that works, and that's why you'll see Will go towards something like Tireless Tracker in the matchup. Right. And Will, using Relic here, kind of does a split job in this sort of matchup. It keeps Tarmogoyf small, and it also protects you against surgical extractions. As Stirrings finds another Relic.
Yeah, that's one of the things a Jund deck can do is deal with one Titan and then try to surgical it. But yeah, Pulliam can just target himself with the Relic in response. Yeah,
they can surgical the Relics, the Titans. Even surgicaling a card like Tolaria West is very good in this matchup.
Sure. And Smith with no pressure, and Jund really needs to get something on the table when it comes to fighting combo decks.
Yeah, especially a ramp deck like this, and that's going to be the tougher one. He gets to bolt the Azusa. That was actually a pretty big win for Smith. A lot of times, if you're in Will spot after resolving Azusa, you try to have your first land be a land that without a trigger on it, so that you just get the next land.
Right.
Kalitas from Smith. But right, if the board just stays even, I mean, ramp is a good strategy against Jund. As long as Will's accelerating, things are fine.
And Kalitas, pretty slow form of pressure here. The life gain also not very significant.
Land 5 from Will. Gonna cast another Relic, floating a mana. Cast Sakura Tribe Scout. gives L. Smith something to point removal at. We see players down to 5 minutes, both going very quickly here.
And with such little pressure being applied, I would expect some removal spells.
Fatal Push takes care of the Scout, gets a zombie. I don't think Will has he has the Titan in hand. He actually does not have the 6th mana untapped. The only land in his hand right now is a 3rd Simic Growth Chamber. If possible, he'd really like to find a way to make Titan next turn.
Yes.
Kalitas swings in for 3. First damage goes on Will, puts him to 17.
Smith could have tried to accelerate things by either firing up the Treetop Village or sacrificing the zombie to pump the Kalitas. Got to figure there's some kind of removal being left up.
Relic, first one cracked by Will. Did he find an untapped land? Didn't really pause about cashing in the second relic, so I think he did.
I think he generally feels interested in maintaining the relic.
Okay, yeah, he actually didn't have the land. He's showing a lot of priority to that.
It's possible that he's seen a surgical extraction.
Here's Obstinate Baloth. Well, he's not going to be able to maintain the relic as he has to pick up Gemstone Mine on that 3rd Growth Chamber. But Baloth should take care of things, at least until this Assassin's Trophy takes care of the Baloth.
And generally, I would think that was a weak exchange, but the Kalitas actually makes it a pretty strong exchange that increases the clock pretty significantly.
Will keeps relicking away. Yeah, now it's a swing for 7. Will did gain 4 off the Baloth, but here's a swing for 10. Will drop to 11. He's got a board to clean up here. That's the thing that Jund does. 1 Terminate on the Primeval Titan could be good enough.
With how quickly Smith went for that Assassin's Trophy, it feels like there's probably more of the same in hand.
Yeah, another one.
Because the Obstinate Bailout is something you could already just sacrifice a zombie and shove the Kalitas into.
Right. The question I would have is if Will has Summoner's Pact, I would not go for Primeval Titan here. The correct plan is...
Hornet Queen.
Yeah, Hornet Queen. If we're worried about 1 Assassin's Trophy, have I got a card for you?
Yeah.
And that is exactly what Will's going to play. It is our 7 drop here. It's a 2/2B that brings 4 more with it. They all have Death Touch. This demands a Maelstrom Pulse.
It is tougher to fight through. You can destroy the Hornet Queen proper and start trying to shove through with your zombies, though there are currently more Hornets than zombies.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 Doomblades, right? No matter how you look at it.
They're also just regular creatures, so you can't even 2-for-1 your way through with Kolaghan's command.
And he is going to trophy away a token.
Yikes.
I mean, there's just not a good way to get through this.
No.
It will trade with 5 cards out of Jund. And Will use the extra land. He actually has a pact to pay for next turn for 4 mana. So if he ramps up high enough, he can both pay for pact and make a Titan on the following turn. Right now he is at 9, so we are pretty close. Here's a swing in with Treetop Village and 2 zombies. Will trade, looks like, Hornets with everything. Doesn't want to get rid of the actual Hornet Queen, as that would give Alessandro another zombie.
And I'm a little curious that the removal spell for Smith did go for a token instead of the Hornet Queen proper.
Tarmogoyf the follow-up for Smith. Back to Will, got to pay for that pact, he will do so. But if he has an untapped land, he can make Primeval Titan. See if he can do it. Minute 20 remaining. Will's hand, looks like Primeval Titan, Engineered Explosives. That was a land, but it's a bounce land.
Yeah, so no 6th mana on this turn for the Titan.
No, he can make a Walking Ballista and Engineered Explosives. Explosives can only go up to 3 on this board.
Yeah, so it can answer the Tarmogoyf. That's worth something, but the Relic's already kind of checking that very significantly.
Yeah, Tarmogoyf is a 0/1 at the moment. I think whatever he wants to do, Will should try to do it quickly here. Just under 50 seconds remaining in the round. We'll pick up a forest here with that Boros Garrison. 2 mana, Engineered Explosives on 2. Looks at the hand. Is he going to do anything more? No, he'll pass, leaving up mana for both those artifacts. Raging Ravine from Smith. And from Smith, not much going on. He may just have to pass. Now, in extra turns, Will can win pretty quickly, as he'll tap the Relic. So Primeval Titan, if he can make one here before we get to the extra turns, It's possible, I think, for him to attack for lethal, but we will. It looks like his turns will be. If he can. Yeah, this is going to be turn 0, so he'll only have 2 turns to attack. This is going to be pretty close. Yeah, we have hit turn 0. If there isn't a trophy on Alessandro's side, it seems unlikely that will work. Now, what he can do, and will give us Titan haste, he gets a bounce land and the Slayer's Stronghold, replays his land drop for the turn, which is the Stronghold, and gives the Titan vigilance and haste, and now it will attack.
This is a position where the Tarmogoyf is being checked by the Relic of Progenitus as well, so the attack is just good.
Colony Garden, looks like Antillaria West are the pickups for Will. Gives him an extra blocker there in the 0-1 plant. It's a swing in for 8 from the Titan. Has haste, trample though, so this block on the Tarmogoyf will prevent 2, and Alessandro will drop to 19.
Yeah, there's explosives on 2 hanging out, so you may as well conserve that life. It's about all the Tarmogoyf's going to do.
And it looks like, actually, by tapping Relic, will push an extra point in as Tarmogoyf shrinks down to a 0-1. 7 damage in, Alessandro to 18. Turn number 1 will be his. And a ton of lands in play. Remember, Will does have a Ballista in his hand. If it comes to it on turn number 4, Will can use that as a big lava spike. In the event that Alessandro has a removal spell.
Right, and there wasn't one before that Titan attacked, so you gotta figure it had to be drawn or be something sorcery speed.
All right, it looks like we have Chandra. Torch of Defiance, -3 to shoot down Hornet Queen. Gives him a blocker.
Yeah, then that's just kind of nickel and dime value, and Pulliam is pulled pretty far ahead here.
Yeah, now he actually last turn got Teleria West as opposed to something like Sunhome, so I don't think he has double strike potential just yet. He should still be okay here. Walking Bliss. There's another Primeval Titan in hand too. So that Titan in hand can go ahead and fetch up the Sunhome for this next attack. As I believe we're going to see.
Okay. Even though he does not have an amulet, he can just drum it up and pick it up with a bounce land.
Yeah, you see him re-tapping there. He wants to preserve some extra blue mana for a possible transmute later. So Primeval Titan gets a bounce land and Sunhome. Land for turn will be the Sunhome.
Primeval Titan's like 2 wild cards.
It's just great, isn't it? Yeah, it's the best tutor in Modern. Sunhome, Vesuva, copying, looks like Boros Garrison. He'll pick up the Sunhome, play it for the turn. He can use Garrison to give the new Titan haste. And now you see you set aside lands for Sunhome, Gruul Turf, and that Gemstone Mine. So both Titans will get to attack. One of them will have double strike. And this all should be good. If this isn't lethal this turn, he's gaining so many lands that Ballista in his hand should be able to do it on turn 4.
Right. Yeah, this is pushing through a ton of damage.
Radiant Fountain puts him to 11.
As it stands, it's 14, and it's going to double strike one or the other Titan.
Yeah, if you double strike it's the larger one, you'll end up with 22 points of trample, which will force blocks from both of Alessandro's creatures.
Right.
Plenty of lands in play for Will. Winner here improves to 11-2. Inside track for top 8 of the tournament. We'll certainly have a win and in next round.
Yeah, we have no undefeated players in the field. Best possible records X1, and even those are dwindling.
Yeah, if Caleb won this round, that will be a top 8 for him. If he is 11-1 with 2 to play.
Yeah.
Smith's trying to figure out the block, but yeah, right. We represent 22 points of trample, 6 toughness.
There's just nothing that Jund is drawing to. dealing 11 points from nothing is not really something that Jund does.
I mean, you'd think maybe if they're drawing to Damnation, you could survive, but we know the Ballista's there.
Right.
Double block, he will double strike the Vigilance Titan. So, tramples over for 2 on first strike. Alessandro to 16. Then we have 14 points of regular damage. Alessandro to 2. And Will has a Ballista, but only 2 mana, not 4, so he'll pass.
Yeah. In time.
And he'll relic away the Tarmogoyf.
Sure.
Turn 3. Alessandro will fetch to 1. Oh, if only we'd played the Ballista. Then we'd have it right here.
Yeah, so Smith does have a Damnation in the sideboard, so that's probably what they're thinking. But as you mentioned, the Walking Ballista kind of makes that a non-factor.
Yeah, and there's, I guess, specifically Inquisition of Kozilek and Damnation this turn could do it. Top card is Scavenging Ooze. That's not going to do it. Will Pulliam, 11 and 2.
Amulet Titan continues its reign of terror.
Nice.
Pulling
I like it.
playing closer to that top 8 finish.
I want to see, Ryan, if we